And we are back for another warm-up show with the hockey coach, Euro Code franchise directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. We have to go all the way to Toronto and welcome back. Finally back with us together, Mr. ENORTAP is in the house.
Hello, Coach. Great to be back, sir. After a long delay there, a few games off, an all-star game. Great to be back with Hockey Nation and you, Coach.
Yeah, me too. Glad to having you aboard and glad the hockey is back finally. I think we missed the hockey, honestly, for the last couple of days for sure. And today on this beautiful, great Monday night, February 6th, 2023, we are going to through a little bit what happened last week, a little bit the leaderboard of the weekly report. We're going to talk about who we went to the bus, who went to the jail, and then we're going to restart everything. We have 6 games on the program tonight, 6 more games tomorrow night. So we're going to talk about those preview game, and we're going to talk about fun news around the league. I have a couple of things here, Mr. Nata, for you, and then we're going to review a little bit what happened last week. All the All-Star games since like Friday night, Saturday, and then some kind of suggestion and a little bit about update about the Montreal Canadiens. And like I mentioned, I have a couple of news around the league we can discuss to go through this program tonight. And we are back together at 9 o'clock p.m. for talking about the Montreal Canadiens. Let's talk HABS. The future is bright with the Montreal Canadiens, with a couple of prospects and maybe also other player they can draft at the NHL draft in Nashville in 2023. Talk about the trade deadline for the Montreal Canadiens. And then we're going to talk about tonight, Mr. Natap. I forgot to mention to you. We're going to talk about who could surprise, to maybe back in the playoff, who have a very good, strong end of the remaining of the season, and the disappointment, maybe a team you don't see, they're going to pop up there. So we have a lot of conversation to talk about tonight. So we're going to be interesting. People pop up at some point. Me and you will look at each other and said, I have nobody here. So maybe Danny was at the front door, don't want to leave anybody come in. So maybe that's a problem happening, Mr. Natap. But we are back together. We have Mr. ID. I know. We have this Yarmo Vartanen is in the house.
Welcome, Yarmo. Moi moi.
The winner of the bus last night was 6-0. Congratulations, Yarmo. About this, he did very well. About great performance last week. We have Peter August, and again, Peter August, unbelievable. And then Rand Kirk, 2 of the 3 already in the chat, Mr. Natap, with a 6-0, a perfect week for them. And we talk about fun things. The 3-star of the week at the end of this line, you can see this Chicago considered performing. Chicago is 3 weeks. Really doing well for his predictions. He does a great job for sure. Talking about Rand Kirk, the Captain Kirk is in the house. Mr. Natap.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome.
Le moderator pop up with a great way ready to his prediction of the night, Mr. Luciano Graziano.
How's it going, Lucky?
Yamo did not watch the All-Star game. He did not miss anything, Yamo. Better sleep. Everybody think they should sleep anyway at that moment. The only thing, it was totally the afternoon. Vinny James, 0000007 is in the house. The James Bond from Ottawa. Very interesting team to watch, Mr. Natar. We can talk tonight about the Ottawa Senator. Not sure what's happening about this. Our friend William McClary knocked the door. I think we missed him last night. I don't think so. We see William last night.
I thought William was there last night. Yeah.
Really?
No. Maybe I know Willie was there.
Willie Snyder was there, but usually William gave us always a question or 2 questions. I can't remember, but I don't think so. He was there, Mr. Natap, last night. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be great. That'd be awesome about this. Usually, Mr. Natap, we ask you what pay your attention. So, honestly, we're not going to go that night that way with it, because I'm going to review a couple of subjects and we're going to talk about fun things together. So I think it'll be a little bit more easier to go that way over there. You gave us your fun statement about this. First of all, the All-Star game is on a tap happening. A little bit like everything from the Friday, Saturday, and during the weekend. What do you think about, some people don't like it. Some people are be fine. So let's see what you think about this. Before you start, Mr. Tap, William said he was there, because I apologize for this. William,
I
Real
thought he was,
Deal
yeah.
and Rick Bengal, Mr. Natap, come up, pop up, and Mr. 801 pop up. And everybody is
Welcome,
in the house. Don't
guys.
forget to click on the likes.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we started to talk about this last night a little bit at the 9 o'clock show about the All-Star game, and you know, I understand some of the points you were making, Coach. That from a younger generation perspective, it's a good thing for them to experience that and start getting sort of acclimatized to it and loving the game and meeting their heroes as they're growing up. But I gotta say, from an entertainment perspective, having the game and then seeing the players not fully engaged, I thought it was extremely boring. And you know, I don't think that players found it interesting. I think there's got to be a better combination that the NHL can come up with. I don't think that this was necessarily the best route to go. Like if you have a weekend where maybe the the people, their children, they can have an actual opportunity to go up and down the streets of in this case, Florida, and have an opportunity to even stop and get a signature or talk with their idols and maybe participate in some activities down the strip, that kind of thing. I'm totally for. But to see, 3-on-3 and they're playing shinny on Sunday, that was extremely disappointing for me. I didn't think anybody except maybe for Dylan Larkin really cared too much out there. I held my breath in the speed contest when Cale Makar went down, because could you imagine if he had gotten hurt on that play? The bad publicity that this would have brought upon the NHL in terms of one of their keystone stars out for the year with a bad injury. So there's got to be better ways to promote it, and at the same time grow the game from an interest perspective for the younger group.
Yeah, I can understand point of view, but you look at the Pro Bowl, right? They don't hit each other. You play basketball, they're just offensive. So it's just normal, I think, for the All-Star game to react like this. You just mentioned they don't want to get hurt, so they don't want to hit each other because it's not properly the right things to do. So they just become like a hockey pounds. Honestly, they just play for to
So don't
and
have it.
you know what I
Don't
mean.
have that part. You're
So
right, but don't have that part then. Like the only sport that really lends itself to a good all-star game, I think, is baseball, because it's not a contact sport,
yeah,
and
exactly.
so
Yeah,
you don't
the
you don't
skill a
miss
bit more
that because
there.
it's never been there. But when you have a game like hockey that's based on speed, it's based on contact, it's based on tight checking, and then you eliminate that, you see the opposite of what we're anticipating, and maybe that's what makes it look so cheesy. Even some of the events that they do, I like skills competition, I really do, but I'd like to see them really try out there. I don't want to see Crosby, Ovechkin, and then his little kid come out and here you go, we'll let you score. I mean, that's lovely for the kid, but for hockey, it doesn't grow it. It doesn't push the envelope. I like to see,
Well, I don't have no
the
problem with
winner.
Ovechkin's son. I will have a problem with the beach ball and everything like that, and the
Yeah.
glass, everything like that. I think they should a little bit more open up. Like they don't need those kind of stuff like that on my eyes. I think they should get one thing they did at Laval last night, Mr. Natab. I think the initial they taken out. They removed the glass around the board to have an
Hmm.
interaction between the fans and the players. And I think
Okay.
this is really unique. I think this is great to see that. So the people are sit and they can talk with the players.
Yeah, and that's what you want. That's even as a you know I mean, my daughter's grown up now. She's 20, but I remember when she was younger, I tried to get her, to go to a couple of All-Star games, and she wasn't really interested. And that was because of what she saw on TV a couple times. She looked at the events and didn't really get interested at all. But that sounds like an idea. Before the game, you don't have any glass or something, and you get the opportunity to
Yeah.
interact. You actually shake, get autographs, get an opportunity maybe to get a souvenir or something. Um, something to that effect is exciting for them, for
Yep.
the audience. And I guess the All-Star game maybe isn't for us as viewers necessarily.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's again, like I said yesterday, it's all about the sponsorship. They give $1 billion if you put all together, and they are all there. They're a friend. They coming there for
yeah,
vacation. They get tickets, and this is all about that. You have other thing we don't see on TV, like my buddy from Russia play hockey. Like he play with the Panthers, maybe like 10 game, 15 game. And then he texted me, sent me a picture of him playing the game, NHL game, alumni, and another ring, right? So it's not like at the Panthers game. It was just like the practice facility at the rink where the Panthers practice. He was there. They did she had a lot of things. Sidney Crosby skate at the West Palm Beach. Ovechkin was in Miami. So you have other things we don't see on the TV. That's what I said yesterday.
true,
It's a
true.
really a weekend for sponsorship and the participation out of the game. Now, the format of the game, we can change it more like, for me, maybe country to country. I think that would be good if they can go country to countries
Yeah,
and
depending
not
on the
represent the
climate
third
too,
team.
right?
So,
Depending on the climate too, because I mean, I'll tell you right now, next year here in Toronto, it's not going to be as open to do outdoor activities, at least not to the effect as in Florida. I mean, they'll do outdoor activities, I'm sure, but I mean, what are they going to do? Go on top of the CN Tower
or
and
you're not going to bring Ovechkin and
shoot the
Crosby
puck?
next year.
I know.
Anyhow, we're going to get there. What we have here, Mr. We have Danny T knock the door. Welcome back, Real, and
Hey,
then
Danny.
Rick Bengal talk about some subject. We appreciate that. Pierre Martin and Chicago Bear all knock the door too. Thanks so much, everybody. Don't forget to click on the likes. We have two big signatures, Mr. Notabs on the weekend, Bo or Vat for the New York Canada. We talked about this yesterday, but just maybe 1 minute for each one. And then Dylan Strom for the Washington Capitals signed another contract too, as on the weekend. And Milano did with the Washington Capitals, but there's a two big name. Honestly, the big name is really Bo or Vat after the big trade with the Vancouver Canucks for
So far,
Beauvillier,
yeah.
Ratu, and the first round pick protected.
Short term, I think it's good for the Islanders because it now definitely puts them in the conversation of one of those teams that we're talking about that possibly can get themselves back into a playoff position. Um, when we look at the money situation and the length of the contract, coach, 8.5 million over 8 years. I don't know. They're definitely he gets the money for what he's done this year and in part last year as well, but it's not something that he's repeated year in and year out. So how does he I think he's a legitimate 30, maybe 35 goal scorer on any given year, and maybe the contract isn't too bad for the next 5 years. But ouch, the last 3 years I think are going to hurt. They're really going to handcuff the Islanders. You got to keep in mind that this team is not a young team either, so they're going to have to make some moves. They're going to have some free agents coming up as well that they're going to have to pay. Um, it's going to be tough. Like if they don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be hard sailing from here on in. I think for Vancouver, they got well, Beauvillier. I look at it as they had to throw him in for salary cap purposes. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't think he's much more than what we see. I know he's going to a team that's a little bit more offensively minded, but I don't see huge things out of Beauvillier, to be honest with you. The key is going to be the protected draft pick, and also um, uh, the prospect Ratu Ata, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not.
Ratu?
Um, Ratu, yeah. So that'll be a key. Like if he becomes what they're anticipating and he reaches his ceiling, like it's going to be a steal for Vancouver. But if he doesn't, then
But the report I
yeah,
can give you about the two guys is about a middle, like is a bit like a second, third, a bubble second center or third center in NHL. That's what you get for Ratu about this. Really smart
yeah,
players need to improve his skating. Does not produce a lot offensive, but he's a 200 weight player center. So it could be if you see Owen Beck, Ratu could become the same kind of player back in NHL. So there will be a players maybe we have to look about this, but I think they get something good in return. For Obo, we have to recognize this. He scored 31 goals last year. Now he did
yeah,
again this season. So if he consistently performing at 30 goals, he gets 60, 65 points with all the tool he has, leadership, captain before, great on the power play, great on the PK, very good on face off. He put all this together, it's good money. It's just if you can continue with consistency for 8 years. But the problem is not the Islanders and Montreal Canadiens. If Alvarez score 30 goals and Coffee score 40, how much Coffee get now from this contract? So one, Lula Marie said
exactly,
it's too much money to long term. It's not only for Islanders, it's for other people like how much money you give to David Pastrnak now,
exactly,
right?
exactly the point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll ever be more than a 60-point person in an NHL season, and that's given him, I think, the benefit of the doubt. I It's not that I dislike Horvat. I think he's a good player, but is he worth 8.5 million? I don't know.
Yeah, will
I
be
guess time
interesting
will
to see
tell.
that for sure. We have a few people knock the door, Mr. ENORTAP. We have to go all the way to see Joseph Laham knock the door
Hey,
tonight. Thanks so
Joseph,
much, Joseph, to be
welcome.
with the Hockey Nation show. Pierre Martin, we said. Pierre Martin knocked the door. And then we have a couple of people format about
Welcome,
this. Some
Pierre.
people don't like the wait. Mr. Renault knocked the door. Welcome aboard, Renault. Here we go. I got Renault.
Hey,
Joseph said.
Renault,
And
welcome.
then Keith, directly from Newfoundland, said the kid did not interested to watching the All-Star game. You're not the only one at the end of the day. And you are born as to be a fan of the Montreal Canadiens. Many
Yeah,
of them, they are. Line is going to
welcome,
be
Ella.
barely all that a Basel for what Yamo said about the New York
That's right.
Islanders about this. And then just to mention Dylan Strom, he just signed a contract. Strom, a third overall pick by the Chicago Blackhawks. Get a little bit better with the Washington Capitals. For me, it's again a little bit more money. That's the kind of player can play second. If he stays steady on the second line, you get 50, 60 points. That's not bad for the money they get in return. But it will be interesting about this. The NHL playoff. Crosby met Gary Bettman, and he want to return this to 1-8. That will be a subject in the chat if you want to comment about this. What do you think about this subject, about the return from 1-8 and not the way they are right now?
I totally agree with Crosby. 100% coach. I'm kind of tired. Like I listened to Gary Bettman. Bettman, he had an interview, I guess, at the All-Star game, and he was talking. I don't know if it was one of the serious announcers that they have there on the radio. Anyways, the point being, he doesn't seem to believe that there's a problem with the individual divisions and keeping it as status quo. But because it in his words, the first two rounds are absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But I think you have to take a different perspective. If you're trying to grow the game, you don't necessarily want to make your first two rounds the most exciting, and then your semifinals and your finals less than that type of quality. If anything, you want to grow to the point where the last round, or at the very least the second last round, the semifinals, that's where the biggest excitement is, because you're getting possibly the two best teams going head to head. And I like the fact I would go even a step further, not just 1-8. I would do 1-16 and rank the teams, keep ranking them, re-ranking them after every round, because I think the top teams there should be a reward for them finishing up at the top, and that's always drawing the lower seeded teams. And this way, you have an opportunity that you're going to get the top teams in the finals, or at least in the semifinals. Right now, like when you look at stuff like Toronto is going to be playing Tampa Bay, and one of these two teams is getting kicked out, you're looking
Yeah,
at
but now I would say,
Minnesota,
is it better
Vegas.
Toronto, Tampa Bay, or Toronto Devils?
Well, yeah, of course, if you're going 1 to 8, but it's merited. At least it's merited, is what I'm
It's
saying.
not changed a lot at the end of the day.
Well, it does if you in one particular year you have one of the divisions that has maybe 5, 6 teams that are doing extremely well, and one of those teams is not even going to make a wild card because obviously you need 3 teams from the other division. And I haven't looked at the standings as of today, so I can't draw a parallel. But maybe tonight I'll look at it and we'll
But right
discuss
now,
a
it's,
little
it's easy.
more
It's
in depth.
Boston, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Washington, Toronto Devils, Rangers, Tampa Bay.
Right. Yeah. It's okay, but I don't know. It does. I don't see it creating that rivalry that they're after.
Now,
I'd
if you
rather
want to
see
change that way,
different process.
I would set under the way me. I would give a buy for the team number one won this division, and then you go from 3 to 10, and then you go over the like that.
Yeah, if you increase the entries into the playoffs, I would totally agree with that. I would
Yeah,
totally agree with that. I could buy into that.
exactly about this one there. So that weapon about this, we want to move on with other subject. We have, guys, we 6:25 already. We welcome everybody. Thank you so much to be with us tonight. And don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. And it's a news, Mr. Really, really strange. This not happen a lot, guys. Player like Dylan Gwender played 33 game in NHL, and the Arizona Coyotes returned him and the WHL. This is really rare. He's already lost his year at the eligibility for the UFA anyway, or is now at the entry level contract. So that's out. 41 game is what he lost his year eligibility for UFA. So they protect that, but it's rare when you act that way, Mr. Nata. To send a junior, and at the time of the season, this now. So that's not a big deal, coach. Yes, I understand. Now, here's the point, Mr. Nata. So Gwender played it was the right for the Edmonton Oil Kings last year, and they make the Memorial Cup with Coley and the other players, but they never win the Memorial Cup. During the season, at the Christmas time, Edmonton trade Gwender to the Seattle Thunderbird. Seattle Thunderbird is one of the top best 5 teams in the CHL. Now, again, a 4-round pick. So far, so good, Mr. Natap.
Yeah.
But if Gwender returned to play in the UHL and the WHL, the Edmonton got 6 draft pick.
Really? 6?
Yes. So
amazing.
Now he returned in WHL, and that's make a big trade. Like there's a lot of conversation about that one, but behind that is where you send a player like him. It's like you Sakaski at 43 goal a game, and then say, you know what, we send him back in junior. So really interesting moment about
Dylan Gwender.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just want to share with you about this. Maurice Robillard, welcome aboard. And we have a forget another one. I apologize. He talk about 500. Under 500 should not make the playoff. Absolute about this BSTN mass, but it's not happen at that way over there. Benny Wise, a reason Penny bending Gwender down. Canadian team need to get better players. They must be in the playoff. It's the game. About this, Maurice love the show. Boys, a Polish All-Star game is a bad joke. Yeah, that's something we have to look about this. Renault thought on Bat Eke volunteering to resign from the Gazette, and what do you remember most if long career as a sport journalist, Mr. ENORTAP? Pat
Yeah,
Hickey.
I've always enjoyed following Pat Hickey. I mean, if anything, I thought he was very fair with the players, um, in terms of how he wrote them up in his columns, the way he spoke with them. Like he wasn't. He was only after the news and what was happening in that particular game, what the player's opinion was, and he reported as such. He never fabricated anything. I thought he was very fair in that regard. And so, yeah, I mean, he's had a nice long career as a writer, beat writer for the Montreal Canadiens. He's worked with the Gazette. He's helped many other writers that have come along in the ensuing years. I know Stu Cowan's spoken highly of him, and a couple of other writers as well. So, congratulations to him, is what I can say. And yeah, I definitely will miss him.
Yep. I don't want to add more. You did very well what you said. And then Rick, you didn't like the article about Bobby Aller. I didn't read it. Unfortunately, I did not said that about this. I just want to mention to you a couple of news. Florida Panthers, Bobrovsky back in the lineup tonight. Pittsburgh, welcome back John Marino. And Chicago about Patrick Kane, where is undecided, Mr. ENORTAP, if he should leave the Chicago or play for other team or not. What do you think about this, sir?
We'll know by the 13th of February. Apparently, is the date when both him and Jonathan Toews will inform the team whether they're willing to either expand or just remove the no trade clause that's in their contract. I'm sure they'll have their own stipulations in terms of where they might want to go, and if a deal could be done in that direction, I think it
Yep.
serves Chicago well. Like, doesn't serve Chicago well to keep both or even one of these guys behind at this point. If they stay behind, it's because they've earned over the years that right to remain there, and I'm sure they'll let them know.
We'll be interested to follow up. A couple of updates, Mr. Natal, for the Montreal Canadiens. We have a couple injuries where now when Montreal will be no news until they come back Thursday. I believe they'll be back on the ice. So we'll be interested what the case for Monahan and Munson. I expect a couple of players can be back, Armia and Drouin. In the lineup very soon. The weekend Super Bowl in Montreal, 10:30, a bowl game start Eastern Time. New calendars with Bo Orrat and Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid, so it's not looking good for Montreal during the weekend. And the prospects are doing well. Lane Hudson, another great weekend. Rick talked about Logan Mailloux, about the hat trick and the Michigan goal he did during the weekend. And then Nick Suzuki at the All-Star game did very well. He won the contest of the putt or the golf mix with the golf, the hockey, and did very well. He's become, some people said he became a great golfer because he never go to playoff in the last couple of years. And then
It's only been around 2 years. I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know yet.
They were in the playoffs one of those years.
I thought Mitch Marner would be better compared to Nick Suzuki, but that's a subject for the time. And then the Laval Rocket, Mr. ENORTAP, do you expect him to call up a couple of players? Will be something we have to follow up. And the Laval tonight is the All-Star game, American Hockey League. If you love the All-Star game, any sport, you can watching this tonight. That'll be great about this for that one over there. Love that move at Dylan Gwender. Now let him RIP the WHL. Love it. Teach a lot. I don't think so, Rick. I'll be disagree with you. If we have Dylan Gwender, if you ask him, are you happy to go back in WHL? And honestly, what you have to learn over there right now, at the end of the day. He played for Team Canada. He played 33 games in NHL. He had, 9 goals in NHL. I don't know what he need to learn to be on the bus 13, 14 hours every single day, traveling during the weekend when he can be in the plane and learning from the reps about that. That's a really strange decision from any organization of hockey to do that after 33 game. If you want to do it, send it and at 10 game, 9 game. But where we at right now, I don't see what this player can learn a lot to become. My point is, how can you become better hockey player right now in WHL at the February 6th versus when you can play in NHL for the rest of the year? I don't see that.
Yeah,
about that.
it's a
We
little
have
bit late.
yeah, exactly. It's a bit too late. We have a couple of people. Yamo talk about Niku Saku. He's going to look looking good over there. Renault, Rick was a hockey positive for negative. That's a lot. The rider put him down. Because was the
On
rookie of the
Hall,
year,
Bobby
right?
Hall.
Stanley Cup year was his rookie year, right? Not for Zuski, but for Cole Caulfield. He was his first time going to golf with Henri Stock only. Pierre Martin, all temps déçu, a very flat person. Hockey last like was an embarrassing. Oliver Kapanen, 43 goal, 9 goal, and Elvis to Hawaii, 1658. Kapanen is my subject on my video of the tomorrow, Mr. Natap. At 11 o'clock, live is more the last line. Rick Espinel, session accomplishment players. Talk about the video, Mr. Natap, before we have to move on. We have 6 games to talk about this. First of all, the NHL released the 3-star of the week. Matthew Tkachuk, Dylan Larkin, and Mitch Marner, all 3 players play for Atlantic Division. They won the All-Star game. And if you want to follow my app Daily News, Mr. Natap, yes, they are. The app feature is bright. Mr. Enartap. This is going to be tonight at 9 o'clock. Mr. Enartap is going to be live at 9 o'clock. You can join us. And my video of the day, Mr. Enartap, do you know what I did?
What'd you do? Oh, today, yes. You did. Let me remember.
That enough?
That enough. Right.
Trade to the Calgary Flames. You heard this first for me, guys. That enough is going to be trade to the Calgary Flames for the 4th or 5th round pick. I wish Mr. Randy Walkman would be here to tell us about this one, Mr. Natap. But expect that could happen on that one over there. André Robert Drouin is in the house, Mr. Natap. Welcome back from Taiwan. Jeffrey Coury right now is in the house. Welcome back. Thanks to be with us. Jeffrey, maybe we're looking at the sky to see a balloon. Who knows what could happen over there in Thailand? Everything could happen about this. Funny how certain athlete skate bachelor trouble in the mainstream press in your hit one other class. Rose by them. Williams said this. And Atlantic for real deal is in the house. Thanks so much about this, Mr. Enartap. Rick Gwender gets reward. Then they said, now go write the boss and show us what you can do. I don't know what he can do more. Real said a 4-round pick would be okay. About that enough, Mr. Enartap. You're absolutely right about this. He is right. Mr. Enartap, we have a few people to celebrate to put them on the bus. Welcome back for 3 people this week. For last week, Peter August, Yamo Vartanen, and Ren Kirk. A perfect week at 6-0, and let them celebrate and the party boss. Here we go, Mr. Natap. They are celebrating now. They enjoy it. They are good to go, and they can't wait to come back tomorrow night because we restart again, Mr. Natap. Tomorrow night we have 6 games on the program tonight to talk about, and we have now the game for the gel and the boss will be back tomorrow night. But before we start, Mr. Natap, we have to talk about one thing. First of all, yes, is you have to DANY Conti gel. We have to talk about because we have to use only one bag. We have only 1% pickup for the rest of the next 24 hours. Again, he returned. I think he become one of the leader too. But King Gamer, Mr. Natap, is in the gel last week with 1 and 5. This happening, Mr. Natap. Anything you want to mention about this?
King goes off board a lot of times with his picks, and sometimes he's bang on, and sometimes he's way off. So this happens to be unfortunately one of those times. So you're gonna have to enjoy that jail.
Yeah, absolutely about this. At the same time, Mr. Natap, are you ready to put him down and the jail?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Here we go. King, you'll stuck right there. Mr. Natap for a couple of 24 hours. Well, first of all, we want to talk about the jail time, the bus time, Mr. Natap, Enartap, and Jose Duarte dominate. Now, Peter August joined you guys, 14, all the 3 together. Richard Mullen, Frenchie, Yamo, following the body boss. Then the jail, Danny T have still lead by one in front of King of Gamer. Danny in the top, where he got
Oh,
another
Danny.
about this one over there. And then we have the screenshot of the winning percentage leader. I still lead a little bit, but Yamo is following, and ENORTAP at 1, 2, and 3. Randy Walkman is following. Don't forget, guys, click on the like. We appreciate that people did it. The win leader only a little bit. Co-friendship Yamo and ENORTAP. Vinny is behind this. Vinny, have a good year. Jose, run with Kings. Luciano Graziano, pick up a couple of W. Luciano said to me last week, said, when I'm in front of Danny on the leaderboard, I'm okay. This is a good year for me. Danny have to be behind me. If he's in front of me, this is a bad news for myself. So Luciano is
And
happy about where
Chicago's
he's
moving
right
up
now.
too.
Yeah,
And
absolutely right
Chicago's
about
moving
this.
up. Yeah.
The total of the points on the top, we have
Oh boy,
what a
the
good
goat.
Yamo and then myself and you are the top three over there. But great performance last week of Peter August last week. I think he has a 30 point, I believe, or something like that. Um,
20. No, I don't see. Oh, there it is. 27. Yeah,
I
27
think
points.
I don't
Not
for
bad.
some reason I think it was Peter August. I put Vinny. Vinny is 30 point last week.
Vinny had the great week. Yeah, in
So
terms of
I put a
right
Jacques Vinny
picks.
is not there. So I thought it was Peter August got 30 point, Mr. Natap. So I apologize for him. But I don't know. I think he missed something there, no? Because I think it's 30, 28, 28. So I don't know what is maybe it's the last one.
I don't know. I'll
Um,
have to look into it and see.
yeah, because I think he missed the week number 17, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah,
neglected to put that
because
in there.
yeah, I can remember that. Anyhow, we have few people knock the door.
It's okay.
Ken is just about our route. It's un peu comment Sukoran and Jack thought always trash Shay because he sold his house in Montreal. Maybe they should focus on his positive impact on the team
Yeah,
instead of the trash me.
you know what, Coach, I couldn't agree with Ellen more. I mean, there's so much more important things to report upon that they're so focused as whether a retired hockey player has sold his house in Montreal to move back home. Like, really, I mean, can we get a little bit more original? I just don't get that.
Yeah. Um, you know, for me, it's like they took sometimes just one thing to turn this like a scoop or something like that to make this bigger. I think that's what
Yeah,
maybe.
it's ridiculous. You know what? Jack Todd, I'm not surprised. Stu Cowan, I am. It's he usually doesn't go there. Jack Todd, unfortunately, does engage in those kind of stories and brings in politics many of the times when it's about hockey and nothing else.
Yeah, honestly. Anyhow, Mr. Nata, we have to go back on the prediction, and it's the Super Bowl week, Mr. Nata. Eagles versus the Chiefs. But we'll be talking about this on the week, anyhow. Let's
Are
talking
we
about
still are we
hold on,
still
we
giving
send
away
Rick.
a bonus point? Are we
Um,
still giving away a bonus
yeah, we'll
point
go to do it,
for?
but maybe more at the end of the week, Mr. Nata.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. I missed 5 or 6 week picking. Pierre Martin, he said. Um, Saddle Thunderbird 3691 prem for Mineral Cup run. If I'm GM of the Arizona, I said we burn your contract. We are losing in Arizona. Go lead your team to Mineral Cup. That will add about this. The guarantee is not there, but I can understand your point of view about this. For me, I don't go that way. Play with Clinton Keller, Jacob Chekron, play practice every single day with coach NHL, play and practice with a players NHL to get a pass on the tape and not to get the pass behind you. I don't know. But for the Seattle Thunderbird, if you said him is going to make only the difference, I don't think so. He just showed to me they already dominate at 36-9-1. He just add more on the south, another ingredient on the south about this. Uh, for now, for the Islanders, Philadelphia, Mr. Notap.
Yeah, let's get into it. Like, you know, the NHL's regular season's back into form tonight, and one of the first games on tap is the Islanders the new Islanders, if you want to refer to them as that, after the first trade that came down the pipes against the Philadelphia Flyers. The Islanders are traveling, so they'll be on the road in Philadelphia for this first of a back-to-back. It's going to be a bit of an intriguing matchup because a couple of reasons. Number one, the obvious, Bo Horvat is now playing in his first game as an Islander, and we're all kind of excited to see how he'll perform being alongside somebody like Barzal. After making that big splash, Lou Lamoriello, it's you can tell where they are mentality wise, and they're all in to try to get into the playoffs. They have aspirations of it. Right now, they're a sixth overall team in the Metro Division, so they got some work cut out for them. Plus, they've played a couple more games than Pittsburgh. Washington is a more realistic goal to try to catch at this stage, anyways. But these wins aren't going to come on their own. They're going to have to earn them. They're going to have to go out there and play their game. I don't think personally, Coach, that the Islanders are done trade-wise. I think that they'll still bring in one or two more pieces before all is said and done, and that should strengthen their position in terms of getting into the playoffs. But for now, New York, they can only control what they do. And coming out of the break, I see them earning 2 points tonight. Any team usually gets fired up when they make a big acquisition of this nature, because it brings confidence to the teams. It's a sign of confidence from management. So you tend to play with a little bit more swagger to your game, and Horvat feeds into that perfectly. He's the kind of player that is very much a cheerleader, and he leads by example. Philadelphia is a weaker team than the Islanders, I would say, at least at this stage today. So, even in front of their own home crowd today, it's going to be a big chore for them to try to overcome the Islanders, especially if they fall behind quickly, because we know how the Islanders can sort of close things down in a hurry. The final thing is, they're 7-0 in their last 7 meetings. Oh, so pardon me, they're 8-2 in their last 10 meetings. The Islanders are against Philadelphia. So I'm going to go with the Islanders to win this one by a score of 4-3.
4-3, Mr. Natap. A little bit closer what I thought about this one over there. I go 4-2, Mr. Natap, tonight. We want to welcome Dixon Automotive Group is in the house.
Welcome.
Alan Barnes, Mr. Natap, is in the house tonight.
Welcome, Alan.
We can talk tonight about the letter of John Tortorella, Mr. Natap.
Yes, that's amazing. You received it?
Yep. So we're going to talk about it.
I had a lot of
tonight.
fun reading
Just
that.
remind me tonight, if you don't mind.
For sure.
The big game of the night for me.
Yeah.
Because the Florida Panthers, we have to smash them tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of those times we want Tampa Bay to continue with their winning ways. After the All-Star weekend took place down in South Florida at the home of the Panthers, the other Sunshine State team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, will be there, obviously, to take on Florida in this Atlantic Division clash. Florida, they've shown a little bit of promise and pushback lately, but I think they have their work cut out for them because they have a tough schedule that's in front of them. Defensively, they're nowhere near where they should be to be even contending to get into the playoffs, in my personal opinion. I think once you play against a team like Tampa Bay, who now slowly is getting into their rhythm, and here they have 32 wins. They're tied for the third most in all of the Eastern Conference. and they're very strong in net, obviously, with Vasilevsky. And I cannot say the same for the Panthers. As a matter of fact, at last report, it looks like it's Vasilevsky against Leon again tonight. So,
No, Leon is
that
out.
doesn't. Is he out now?
No,
Okay, so
Leon
is it
return is Popovsky and Knight is the backup.
Bobrovsky? Okay,
Yep,
so
yep.
that's slightly better, but still advantage Tampa Bay in my eyes. I'm gonna take the Tampa Bay Lightning in this game by a score of 4-2, even though it's in Florida.
All right, Mr. Natap, great. We are completely reverse each other. I took for now 4-3 is going to be a goal and overtime about this, Mr. Natap, tonight.
For Tampa Bay, or are you taking Florida?
Tampa Bay, yep.
Yeah.
Vasilevsky versus Bobrovsky, Mr. Natap.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep, that's a confirm about this one with it. Thanks so much. About this game number 3, the New York Rangers. Welcome back. The Flame are now be interesting to see the Flame.
Exactly, and both the Flames and Rangers, they look to open up the second half of the season on the right foot as they face each other off against each other in New York tonight. Both teams have been rested, obviously, and refreshed heading into this game following the break that we just had. So look for this to be a fascinating game. Matchup between these two teams. The Rangers, they're heading into the season. They've headed into the season with high expectations based on what they achieved last year, and so far, they've pretty much met those expectations. Personally, I would have thought that they'd be a little bit higher up in the standings, but they're not far off the pace. And really, the guy they have to thank is Shesterkin. I mean, the guy's come in and game out and performed pretty much almost at last year's pace. So rate and so he's been very good. In fact, the Rangers, they rank 20th in when you look at their offense in expected goals for percentage and 22nd in expected goals for per 60 minutes. And I think defensively they're a much superior team than Calgary is at this point. So I'm going to go with the Rangers to win this one, but I think it'll be close, 4-3.
I like in the net, Mr. Natap.
Doesn't matter.
So again?
It doesn't matter. They're at home. As a matter of fact, New York, they both have an urgency. I'm not gonna lie about that.
5-2 in ENORTAP. So Ranger Rick Bengal Super Chat. Super Chat. Super Chat, Mr. Rick Bengal. Thanks so much, Mr. Rick, for your super chat about Dylan and Slakowski. Hype. I'm looking for hype, Mr. Natap.
Hype.
There we go. And then said that she cannot wait to see the Toronto lose the first round pick, first round, Mr. Natap.
I don't disagree.
Then she asked her why the people don't like her on the Twitter.
Must be Leaf fans.
The Canucks and the New Jersey Devils Bouvillier back in the lineup for them the first game.
So, did you take the Rangers or Calgary, Coach?
Oh, yeah, the Rangers.
What was your score?
5-2.
Oh, 5-2. Ooh.
Yeah, do what you...
It's Halak.
I follow you.
Yeah, but you told me it's Halak.
No, I want to be sure you're more asking you if Alex changed your mind.
No, he won't change my mind. Not at home. The Rangers are pretty tough at home. Anyways, let's go.
So the super chat it was for you, Mr. Tap, to dance from Rick.
Oh well, if I'd known Rick, I would have gave a better performance. Come on.
Again, number 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got the other team, the as part of that Bo Horvat trade, Vancouver going up against New Jersey. It's going to be a tough matchup. Looks like it's Martin against Vanacek. Last time I checked, or is it Delia now?
Et Deliat versus
Uh,
Vanecek and
yeah.
Mr. Joseph Lamb go with 4-0, Mr. Tap. Just to let you know.
Well, I picked the same team, not the same score, but I mean, I'm gonna jump ahead right to the final line of my prediction here, and it's based on the fact that the New Jersey Devils are 9-1 in their last 10 games against Vancouver. It's clear to see what Vancouver is in the process of doing now. Without Horvat, that's the first step in terms of clearing up some cap space and also joining in on the sweepstakes for Bedard. And you can rest assured that there might be another player or two that leave Vancouver before this is all said and done at the trade deadline time. Whereas New Jersey, on the other hand, they've been playing outstanding all year long. They're definitely one of the top teams. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. The offensively, there's not much to pick apart here because they're a solid team. They have some great youth, some great prospects coming down the line as well. I really like the direction that they're going, and I think that they're going to be also active at the trade deadline time to pick up another piece or two. They definitely have space for it, and they have the assets to pull it off. So I don't think this will be much of a contest. I took New Jersey by a score of 5-2.
5-2, Mr. Tap.
Yeah.
All right. Allison the GOAT. 5-2, Mr. Tap. Allison, Joseph know his team, so I want to follow Joseph and encourage Joseph. He encourage us, so I want to go with that way. The New Jersey Devils, Mr. Tap, tonight.
New Jersey all the way.
But it's not good news for Montreal because Vancouver should win, but
Well, yeah, I know that's the only problem, the setback. So if they end up winning, that's okay. I'm willing to sacrifice my record for the Habs getting a better selection.
yeah, absolutely.
So we have Anaheim against Dallas here. Similar type of game, coach. We obviously want Anaheim to keep climbing, but unfortunately, they're going to have their hands full. Looks like it's Gibson against Ottinger in this one. The game is in Dallas. Dallas is 8-2 against Anaheim in the last 10 games that they've played. The Ducks, they're very unpredictable. Like in the last few games, like they've won 3 in a row. 2 of them coming on the road as well. And they've already beaten Dallas once this year by a score of 2-0. I believe the first time Dallas won, and it was also by a shutout. I think it was 4-0, if I'm not mistaken. So who knows what we'll get here? But I gotta believe that Dallas right now has to be really going into the next gear, getting ready to get for the playoffs, and they want to improve their situation as much as possible. They want to make sure that they ensure home ice advantage throughout the playoffs for as much as they can. The Stars, they've won 6 out of their last 7 against the Anaheim Ducks as well, and 36 of the last 52 that were played in Dallas. So that's going back a long time, and it's not really as relevant when you go that far back. But nevertheless, I thought I'd just throw it out there. I'm going to take Dallas to win this one by a score of 5-1.
Dallas 5-1. We want to welcome Mr. ENORTAP. Jean Gregor is in the house from Boston.
Hey, John, welcome.
All right, I go with you, but 5-2, Mr. Top. You missed the goal of Zigras.
Okay. And that takes us to the last game of the night, I believe, Minnesota and Arizona. Again, coming out of the All-Star break, the Wild are on a 2-game road trip to start it off, and they're going to start off tonight in Arizona. They're the Wild right now. They're treading water, or they were treading water before the break. They had a 2-3 record in the last 5 games that they played. They're a little bit in danger of losing their third place spot in the Central Division, so they have to be very careful and cognizant of that. At one point during that 5 games, I believe they were out of the playoffs looking in, but they quickly fixed that with a victory, and that's how close those teams are in the West. One victory here and there, or a loss here and there, and you can find yourself on either side of that wild card conversation. Um, the the Wild, they're 10-1 in their last 11 games against Arizona, and Arizona is 3-16 in their last 16 games played. Period. Although, in all fairness, I think that a lot of their losses have been very, very close. The one thing about Arizona is they bring their top game for the most part. And of course, when you have, like I said, Vamalka and net, he always gives you a fighting chance, at least of being in the game. Um, this for me is it's got to be a victory for Minnesota. They need it desperately. These two points that are on the table. So I'm going to take the Wild by a score of 4-2.
4-2, Mr. Top. Um, for some reason, I put this in overtime.
In overtime. Yeah, you know what? It's in Arizona, and
That's
who
the reason
knows?
why about this one.
Like I
There.
said,
This is the game number
if
6 of the
Arizona
night,
wins, I'm
Mr.
not too
Top.
disappointed.
Yeah,
if
absolutely about
they,
this. I like people in the chat, guys. Before you leave the building, don't forget to click on the like. We really appreciate everybody. They have a great comment. What do you think about Mr. Tap? Danny said if the Leaf win the first round, he want Ellen and Bikini wearing the Leaf bikini with the color of the Leafs. My question is, what Danny can do if the Leaf lost? What do you think about Danny and Bikini and diving inside the
yeah,
Canal Rideau in Ottawa?
it sounds perfect to me.
I
I'll even
think
give him a beaver tail
I think
to
that'd be
stay
great
warm.
to see him over there on that area for sure about this. We have a few people
Uh,
talk each other. We have NHL, Mr. Natap. NHL report is in the house from Connecticut. No, it's Roger, by the way. I apologize. It's Roger. I thought it was
hey,
NHL report.
Roger.
But Roger, welcome back. And when you heard about this, right away, Roger joined in the chat. You can see his ear feel the red
He
right
heard
away right
bikini.
there.
He heard bikini.
Yeah, you heard the bikini, but he said, no, I heard the leaves. And then we want to be sure he's on the same side with Ellen. Great show for back together, Mr. Natal. Was glad to hear you. We're going to see you again at 9 o'clock p.m. We invite everybody to join us. Tonight, Rick Bengal will hopefully be there. We talk about the Montreal Canadiens prospect. Tonight, we're going to talk about fun news around the league, the Flyers with a lot of John Tavera. Ron Exall talk about what the Pittsburgh need. We're going to talk about the trade deadline, the leaderboard. We're going to talk about. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some player the NHL draft 2023 and Mitch Cobb, the Montreal, the Benson, Barlow, Yager. I'm going to change a little bit other subject, and then finally we're going to talk about which team do you expect, Mr. Top, is going to have a really good second half of the season, whatever, or after the All-Star game until the remaining, and which team you think are going to struggle? So with all those
Okay.
subjects tonight, Mr. Top, we have.
Sounds exciting, and I like Roger's proposal there about the tattoo. I think it's a great idea, Roger.
I
Danny
think that'd
would
be
love to
great.
have a permanent tattoo.
That'd be great to have that for sure with a great tattoo about this. We want to welcome back, not Yamo, but yes, of course, Yamo, but John Grega for Boston area. We miss him. We know he was a regular, but sometimes
Absolutely.
live is changing everybody. And by finally, we wish the best for Roger Delaney. Speed recovery, Roger, the Hockey Nation live show, a family. All the like ENORTAP co-hosts and the moderator and the people in the chat,
Yeah.
all prayer a thought about our friend Roger Delaney. Surgery at the heart last week. Hopefully he's going to be recovery, come back very soon with us with the Hockey Nation live show, Mr. Natab. That's conclude our show. What do you pay attention, Mr. Natab, before you leave the building tonight? What do you expect?
Well, it's interesting, right, Coach? I think those teams that we picked need those points desperately. If they don't get it, it helps Montreal, of course, because we're talking about Anaheim, Arizona. We're talking about Vancouver, Florida. So either way, I think we're going to come out happy tonight.
I would be more happy if 6-0.
Well, I told you, I'll take a 1-5 if it helps the Montreal Canadiens.
No, I don't want to go to jail with you.
No, somebody else will go to jail. 0-6.
That'd be great. Thanks so much, Mr. Natab. You nailed it again. An amazing, great. And we want to thank everybody in the chat, guys. You did an amazing, great job. I love the conversation. The warm-up show, Mr. Natab, is really a 1 hour where the people, they're already friends and they talk each other. And it's just fun to see that, how they respond in the chat. And hopefully we see them at 9 o'clock p.m. I can't wait to see you again. Until then, my friend.
Take the bet, Ellen.
Exactly. And then with all the comments.
It's an easy victory for you.
Awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Here we go, Mr. Natab. That concludes another warm-up show. Until the next time, of course, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of what, Mr. Natab?
You're 2023.
You did it again. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. Look forward to see you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock p.m. with, again, the man, the master of the prediction, Mr. ENORTAP. Have a great night, Mr. ENORTAP.
Good night, Hockey Nation. Good night, Coach. We'll see you tonight.